Welcome to a proposal to bring community gardens to Addison at Cherry Creek. Residents of Addison are limited in our opportunity to garden. We have our balconies and windows, but these are small areas and many are blocked from direct sunlight. Many of us might enjoy the ability to plant, grow, and harvest a garden here at Addison. During this presentation, you will see many reasons to bring this project to fruition, and I ask that you watch with an open mind. If you will, I believe you will be convinced as I am that community-maintained gardens will bring about the sense of community at Addison that we will all be proud to be associated with. We are a diverse community of many cultures, lands of origin, and of varied interests. Community gardens have their origins in the early 20th century, enjoyed a resurgence throughout the world wars, and are currently gaining in popularity in many cities. I believe that with cooperation between Addison management and our residents, we can create a partnership we can all feed off of. We are fortunate to have Mark and Melissa from the CARES team organizing events to bring our community together. With their help, this project will have the jump start of credibility to quickly gain steam within the Addison community. Community gardens provide educational opportunities and are proven to build the kind of social climate that leads to neighbors who care about and know each other. Benefits include reduced crime as well as healthier diets. We can grow our own vegetables, herbs, and flowers and reap the benefits of this time-honored activity. This would be an ongoing activity which, once begun by a core group, I believe would grow in participation as it gains visibility throughout the Addison community. One of the great things about this proposal is it can be implemented in stages, a few garden beds at a time, as community interest dictates. There are areas within the Addison grounds where small garden plots could thrive. While this proposal is late this season for huge success this year, the groundwork could certainly be laid now for excellent crops in future years. If we act now, we can have our plots cultivated and the soil amended in time to plant just after last frost. We can certainly take advantage of this year's growing season and begin to reap the benefits as soon as we begin. As more residents become aware of the benefits and wish to participate, the number of beds can be expanded so that eventually everyone who wants is gardening their own crops. What I propose is a community-wide survey organized by the CARES team to gauge the level of interest in gardening here at Addison. I would suggest a flyer be distributed advising of the survey to come and describing what this proposal suggests. The survey will be used to decide the merits of proceeding with the project. Next, approval and participation will have to be secured from the management of Addison at Cherry Creek. Participation will need to be in the form of the following: a plan to establish the locations and design of the gardens, a plan to use Addison resources to water the gardens, and a financial commitment towards the actual construction of the garden infrastructure. It should be noted that water is already a community-paid resource, so approval of the community for the gardens should also be secured. After plans are established and funding is determined, a community steering committee should be established to organize and schedule community participation. As part of the survey, names of those who would be willing to serve on a steering committee will have been collected. This group will decide what crops will be grown and determine a planting, weeding, harvesting, and replanting schedule. The actual construction of the gardens will be at the discretion of Addison management and will be determined by design decisions. I would suggest raised beds with a topsoil and compost mix amended into the existing soil to raise the level of the bed. Raised beds with a wood or stone border will contain the gardens, making it easier to maintain the grounds around them. A walk throughout the Addison campus reveals many level, sunny areas which would accommodate beds of a 4x8 size without overwhelming the surroundings. I've identified 7 areas which could hold up to 20 to 30 individual beds. The map of the Addison complex shows an area on the south border, areas on the north bordering Florida Avenue, and several smaller areas throughout the campus. Once beds and plans have been determined, construction will begin. The turf will need to be removed and the underlying soil tilled and amended with the topsoil compost mix. 4x4 kits are available to construct the beds, and this method is what I've chosen as it is easily available and the cheapest ready-made material on the market. At this point, it will be time to purchase plants and plant our gardens. It will be necessary to protect our beds with a barrier to guard against rabbits and squirrels, as Addison is home to many of these furry friends. We will follow the schedule determined by the steering committee for weeding, watering, harvesting, and replanting. How much produce will we have when harvest comes? Table 1 shows approximate yields for several types of plants planted 1 row each in 20 beds. This could yield over 1,400 pounds of produce. What will we do with our harvest bounty? I would suggest a bi-monthly farmers market with prices heavily discounted compared to market. Any produce not sold could be donated to accepting charities. This is a partnership between Addison staff, resources, and the Addison community. Between the staff, grounds crew, and tenants of many backgrounds, I'm sure there are years of experience in gardening to draw from. Table 2 outlines expenses for the project. Quantities envisioned are those necessary for 20 garden beds to be constructed and fully planted in 2014. Discounts could surely be realized with purchases of these items in these quantities. My estimates of potential yields are very conservative, and if we sell our produce at the very low price of $1.50 a pound, we would gross over $2,000. This could be used to defray the costs of startup and ongoing expenses. This proposal will begin many benefits to the Addison community and to Addison at Cherry Creek. There are social benefits of increased interaction with our neighbors and their families. Gardens provide educational and recreational opportunities and offer increased physical activity opportunities. Community gardens will also give Addison at Cherry Creek another selling point to attract new tenants and give the current members of our community another reason to stay. Imagine a harvest feast on a warm September day, with members of the community sharing ideas for next year's gardens, swapping stories over salads and vegetables from this year's crop. Isn't this the kind of community we all want for Addison? A community where we know each other's names and can talk about shared experiences over a meal? What improvements and additions might we make for future seasons? What if a greenhouse were added to the Addison complex? Envision how attractive Addison at Cherry Creek will be to new tenants with these garden amenities. Who would want to move from a community that partners with its residents in this way? I challenge you to embrace this proposal and help make it happen in 2014. Let us be a community that takes these steps together to bring ourselves closer as neighbors and raises our community to new levels of camaraderie.